Morning everyone, Ian from DIY Home and Gardening. Saturday the 3rd of February, thank goodness we're now into February. Got January out the way, which is, well, it just makes you feel better, doesn't it? You feel as though spring's just around the corner. So if I turn the camera around and we can see what's growing and, well, how things are shaping up for the subsequent spring. So I thought I'd show you how things are starting in the greenhouse. Just a few bits that are overwintering. Pleased to say this solanum's doing really well. Down into this heated propagator. Early signs of some eryngiums popping. Last few varieties on the chili peppers and some antirrhinum doing their thing also, so not a lot in there. But plenty on the go here. These are all my chili peppers and sweet peppers, and I've got to say they're doing pretty well. There's a little bit of damping off just because it's been so cold of the night time. Had to have the heater on a little bit more than would have hoped, but yeah, is the way it is. Also, I'm using the heat bed, so that's taking a little bit of getting used to, just trying to work out how quickly things dry out or don't, because of getting the extra heat from below. Finding that actually the base of these cells is drying out a bit quicker. So what I've been doing is been using that heated propagator tray as a dunk tank essentially. So that said, we've got what have I got, 21 varieties so far of chili pepper, 3 varieties of sweet pepper. And let me just get to here. So then within here, there's the red Russian kale there, there's some onion kelsey there, forgotten what it's called, Orak, which is this purple one here, which is the sort of more perennial spinach, so a few late germinations there, and a little bit more kale. And then down the bottom here, you can see the nice shoots just starting to, well, eyes starting to break, and a few shoots, so need to get some cuttings off them, but that's all the dahlias there. Top dress over the top on the ginger, gave that a drink the other day, and this is the turmeric. You can see it's just starting to swell a bit, ready to start popping, so that's good. Oh, just noticed got a little sprout developing there. That's on Mary's Germander, so that's good. So that is, oh no, and then up here got the potatoes, so they're just staying in there as well, a bit of warmth just to keep them ticking over until we get around to planting. So for this year, start on this one, these are the earlies, so I've got Pendant Javelin as always, great variety, multifunctional, multi-use, decent pest resistance, so earworm resistance, and bit of scab resistance there. And then they've got Acoustic, which is second early, which is new breeding, has some pest resistance but good pathogen resistance and stress resistance. So by stress resistance, it means that it is tolerant of a range of weather conditions, so happy in the dry or wetter conditions. And where it's had testing in Netherlands and the UK, they found that it's actually producing fairly uniform yields across sand and clay soils as well. And the other good thing with this is that whilst it's a second early, if you leave it in the ground until you kind of get to main crop season, it becomes a little bit more flowery, less water content, and great for chipping. So could be a really good one. So that is the greenhouse, and then we're going to head over to the allotment, see what's happening there. So I just got to the allotment, and bless him, Kiwi's dropped a load of manure, and that looks like that's a lot of manure. Look at all that. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a job for this weekend. Let's see how the rest of the plot's going. Okay, so I haven't just popped up here and carried on. I've been up here 3 hours. As you can see, most of that pile of manure is gone. I am planning to clear the last of it before leaving. But starting with this bed, you can see that the rhubarb is starting to shoot. So I need to think of a way to cover that, to force it on, get those nice tender stems. You can see that there's a bit more bud development within the black currants. The leeks, well, look at them. They're looking so much better than last year, and they are last year's plants. Looking nice and sturdy, nice and fat. So whilst I've been up here, I have mulched over the whole of that bed, which is where the chrysanthemums are, hoping that they're still alive. They seem like they've still got green in them, so yeah, I'm hoping they don't or haven't succumbed too much to the cold wet. This bed here, this has got the onion kelsey in it, the red cabbage, which cleaned up a little bit, and the Taunton Dean perennial kales. So 2 of those looking good. Third one, which is there, it looks like that's been absolutely ravaged by the slugs. My sort of music porcelain odd garlic that I wasn't planning to plant, but then did plant, well, they've popped up. This bed here, this is the bed that I'm going to finish mulching today. So this is actually my elephant garlic, which comprises of this amount of elephant garlic corms and this amount of elephant garlic cloves, and so far the cloves are in the lead. Definitely a few, well, it looks like there's 3 have not sprouted as yet. I'm thinking they probably won't. Almost certainly it's the wet. Onto this bed. So this section here are shallots, which I've just covered over because well, quite frankly, they're looking really poor. Look like the cold has definitely got to those, so I thought I'd just put a bit of a blanket on them, see whether they well, will recover really. It's always the problem when you're planting something a little bit more tender, and the variety that's gone in there, name escapes me, but it's a French variety, so not quite as tough as some of the UK bred type ones. This remainder of the bed has got the Egyptian walking onions in it. So these are what I'd call the decent plants. So they were coming from strong bulb stock. This lot, which so far doing nothing, that was the tiny bulbils. So see what they do. Moving round, strawberry bed looking as messy as always. Definitely needs a bit of work doing on that. It's probably going to be a job for, well, another week. Had a little bit of a tidy in the compost bin, which might seem like a pointless job, but it isn't. So just gave it a bit of a turn to, well, help break it up a little bit. Chucked on some purple sprouting broccoli that I've pulled out this morning, and you see I've just laden up the front with the old stems. This one, for the time being, I've just braced to try and get it a bit more upright whilst I drove in that metal bar at the back. and I've just used an old fence post that I had, a little bit of OSB boards that I used for my heated propagator bench, a couple of bits of timber, well 4 bits of timber just roughly cut, and chucked some bird seed on. And all I've done is I've just put a singular screw in either side on this piece, and that way that allows it to turn, which you can then use to open up a bit of a gap there to allow excess water to drain off, so you're not going to end up with a saturated mess. So doing a little bit for wildlife. Not a lot happened in there, slight tidy, not a lot. This bed here, this bed is all set, and that will be planted for the potatoes. The potatoes, as you saw earlier, they're at home, so another month or 6 weeks perhaps, then the potatoes will come out into here. Once they're in here, then I will mulch the whole lot with a really good blanket of manure. This bed, onions, and you can see I've gone across, mulched the whole lot. Very time consuming trying to put it around the individual sprouts, but definitely going to be worth it because it will add a little bit of insulation, because like I say, we are just barely into the first couple of days of February, and February here in the UK, most of the time it can be cold, and certainly my birthday is mid-February. A lot of the time, probably 90% of the time, end up with snow around my birthday time. So get a blanket on now, get them tucked away just in case, and you know, not only will it add a little bit more protection to the base of the onions as they grow, but as it breaks down, it'll release some much needed nutrients. Have done exactly the same with the garlics as well. So got my soft necks here, which are actually doing well, came up much quicker than the hard necks, so it's about there-ish for the soft neck. Then we got the hard neck. Have also sorted out 1, 2, 3 beds, 3 pathways. Again, all I've done, I've just lifted up the sheeting, and I've used some of the manure underneath to, well, fill in some of the divots really, and just re-pegged it, because as you can see, the wind has caused absolute havoc up here. These little boys, well, they're waiting probably on more food. They've had some kale already, they've had some chard already, but they do love it, and it is so good for them. Yeah, don't fight, boys. So that's them sorted out. Done nothing with this bed. This will be the next one. Last little bit of Swiss chard in there, bit of Cavolo Nero, which you can now see the pigeons have started coming for. So yeah, I will leave it just because it doesn't need to come out yet, and quite frankly, whilst the pigeons are eating that, it means they're not attacking anything else. This is where the purple sprouting broccoli was, so that's all come out. Again, I'm not going to be doing much with that at the moment, not too fast, because I've got plenty of time, as this bed here is where I'm planning to put the dahlias. So yeah, got a couple of months on that. And likewise, these, well, they're not going to need anything doing with them for a little while. Seeds and plants won't be going in those until April. So yeah, that is the February, well, start of February update. And yeah, I've got to say, when I first came up here, I was thinking, what the hell am I doing? But so 3 hours later, definitely looking better for it. And that's that. Exactly as I say, 3 hours of proper work trying to get this plot looking tidy again. You know, although I'd spent the back end of last year making sure I was nicely organised, getting the beds dug, getting it straightened, pathways done, etc, etc. The winter definitely takes its toll, and you know, so even you look that way, there's still plenty of work to be done, but that's going to be for another day. But for me, all I'm going to be finishing now is just topping up that bed with the manure, just to insulate those elephant garlic and get the covering back on. And well, that would be about 3.5 hours then. But that's 3.5 hours that I haven't got to spend when the weather does improve and when I am sort of up against it. So yeah, make the use of your time when you have got it. Yeah, as always, hope you liked the video. If you've got any questions as to what I'm doing, why I do it, then please send them to me. It's always nice to have different questions coming through, and certainly people asking some different things and a different take on things as well. If you do like what I'm doing, then please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that reminder button so you don't miss out on the future videos that I'm doing. And I always say it, but it's so true, enjoy what you're doing, have some fun, and well, just make the most of it not raining. So until next time, bye for now.